get that message in 10 minutes. You can plug into China, right? And you can plug into anywhere and everywhere. So, remember when CNN started this news, 24-hour news? That was 30 or 40 years ago. That was 40 years ago, something like that. That was a big deal. 24-hour news. Now everybody's 24-hour news. And the minute something happened in Iran, it'll be on our phone in a hot minute, right? So things don't take as long. And I think we're giving ourselves a pretty good break to say 5, 7 to 10 years to get in place. Because if you want to see a bunch of sad people, look at the American Indian when he wasn't prepared to protect his family and his society from the cavalry. Right? It did something to them, and technically they haven't come back from it. Why do people drink and do all of that? Indians just stay drunk. Why? Because I didn't fulfill my obligation as a man. And then I'm the 5th generation of it. I used to do cellies in either Leavenworth and other prisons, federal prisons, because they do stuff on the reservation, they go to federal. And it was a sad thing that something had been taken out of it. Something had been taken out of it. And all they wanted to do was just drown it with alcohol or anything else that would drown it out.
And they stole their kids. They took their kids.
Oh my goodness. The missionary schools and all that stuff you hear about in the U.S. and Canada, they did the Indians here the same way they did the people in Australia. Those are colonial. Okay. If we don't want that, (2030, 35, and 40, we have to do this. Yeah, because we have to have those people that they would use to do it, right? Remember, there are so many dynamics headed our way. In America, the white population is decreasing. The Latin American population is increasing, and when you get them coming across the border, they passed us 20 years ago. They may be 15 million or more in front of us already. At that time they said it was 40 million apiece, 39 million apiece, Negroes. With them with the slaves. It ain't like that no more. They got us, they're everywhere. They're in Idaho, they're in pig factories, doing the pigs in Iowa. They're in Dixie. It used to be never no Latinos in Dixie. They're everywhere. Okay. So who should they be? Our allies. They should be our allies. Not boss man's allies, but our allies. You can say you don't have to worry about that because they're running them across the border, they're calling them murderers, and they're slandering them. They are. And not only them, but remember, you have to think ahead and plan for the trends of the civilization of society. When they kill those Asian people, and you see on TV they show a Negro beaten up, oh, that's not the trend. That's not the trend. There's 2, 3 Negroes, maybe Rob, stuff like that. But I'm from, it's supposed to be in California and Oakland. I'm from Oakland. And those poor Asian people, when they have them food giveaways, you see all them people, you see all the old parents. See, the old parents, their kids is wealthy. Shoot. Free food, they be out there baskets, because they remember, see, hey, you giving away free food? And you would think that Negroes out there, you know, they're giving away them food baskets and buckets of free food, and hey man, bag of potatoes, loaves of bread, all of this, that, and another. They right there. They bring their carts and everything. You just see them in California. You know, here's the point. We don't have to worry about allies. They have made allies for us. Hey, in 92, man, the Koreans, they hated Negroes. You better not go in no Korean store and snatch stuff. They had an AR-15s. They showed pictures of the wall lined up with them. All the Koreans came out of Koreatown back to their original store, or whoever's still in there. And all the Watts in LA, they was all in there, ready to shoot Negroes. But in the last minute, guess what? The dummies that made their most faithful immigrants, right? Our allies. Right? Yeah. Okay. Those are historical realities. Those are things that you can't put together, and it would take so many things in the society to organize that. Those are things that come from Allah. Allah is putting all that stuff together for us, for them. We're not thinking about it. Allah knows what we need. That they'll be our allies. If they're not, they won't be in the way. Okay. Okay. We just talked about before Negroes were were like police, slave catchers, you know, for boss man. But promises broken, broken promises, disappointed, safety, security, success in your own hands. Success in our own hands, or I should have safety in your own hands. Would we trust any fluke or anything that we would place the safety of our wives, children, and families and old folks in somebody else's hands? Our safety. But if we are in these various departments, you got to remember, just say Europeans are losing population. Technically, they've lost population. So goes California, so goes America. It was 10 or 12 years ago that California became a majority people of color, not black and Mexican, but white folks are a minority in California. Now, that trend is going on around the country. There's other trends. Probably the young white people that we saw walking around are so influenced by Negroes and liberal ideas, right? That they wouldn't shoot a nigga, no way. Let's say 25%. Now, during the time of the chaos, maintaining stability, we would have to understand that the United States of America is headed for a period of chaos. And it don't have to be an implosion, but it has to be a threat of implosion, and the rich people panic and give the order to straighten all this out. We have to be there that they're giving that order to me and you. Yeah, the 1% or less, right? Or send it down through the chain. If we do it properly, that means within 10 years, if we're the educated crew, we'll be, hey man. I asked one of my brothers who used to come here, I say, you've been a long time, what about Sergeant's test you take? And he ho-hummed, he probably took it several times, but he just didn't pass it. You see what I mean? Okay, so, people that are book wise, you know what I mean? One example, they're ready for it. They're ready for it, and they'll improve. Now, we want to be to where in 10 years, to where every order they send down from the top have to be filtered through us, or enough of us. You see what I mean? Yeah. Okay. You know, that's terrible that you think that would happen to America. I don't think it could get around that. You know, all the stuff that's going on, economy, all the ships coming in, they're coming in, fully loaded, and leaving empty.
Yeah.
Trade imbalance.
Yeah, that was one of that was that interview I heard about maybe a couple of years ago about a European, one of their scholars was on there talking about the symptoms of decline.
Yeah.
He listed that, yeah, we have a massive trade deficit, in addition to other things, but that's a symptom of just an empire at its end. Yeah.
Nothing is
Right.
going the way of stability. There's nothing. The infrastructure is crumbling. So we need more taxes to build more roads. Okay, China has built new roads, new everything, new train. You don't even have to fly. Just jump on a train and hang out there 200 miles an hour, be there, right? And flying might be slow, because by the time you go to the airport, get packed up and unpacked, right? You could go over land at 200 miles an hour and you'll be there. And at 200 miles an hour ain't anything that's close by. On them super duper trains, right? The infrastructure of America is crumbling and falling down. Technically, it's falling down. What is it, 38 or 48% of all structures, bridges, right, and all that in America is in decay. It needs fixing like now already. right? I mean, that's what they say. Okay. The money that they're giving out, they don't have that money. And they was already broke, and they gave out more money to last these trillions. It don't sound like much. But that's a lot of money they're giving away.
Yeah.
It's got to have an effect. America has a good name, they have one. They won't have it much longer. When they hit that bump, the so-called smart people that's been saving their money gonna have a lot of wallpaper. They're gonna be mad. The other people that don't have a job, they have been mad for the last 40 years, right? We have to be prepared for chaos. And we have to have our people in pocket. You don't have to subvert, you don't have to do none of this. That's not even going to be our language. But it's necessary to be there. Okay. Mobilize immigrants. We have this mobilization, we won't be able to do with it, but I think the Negro will, between Siraj and all other Negroes. More specific, when I was going to Berkeley, when I was monitoring classes at Berkeley, good God, over 30 years ago, all the Arabic classes was either a few Arabs that was just trying to keep their grades up, taking something they already knew, right? Or all the white folks were military types. And I stumbled in a class with the Egyptian, somebody was going to be there, and he was talking to their people. And he told them a lot of lies that they wanted to hear. And I said, hey man, that ain't right. Because I remember one time I said, Iran, Iraq is mostly Shias. What are you talking about? Well, that Sunday Shia divide, he's an Egyptian. He knew what the white folks wanted. The point is this. The white folks looked at me and they was just, yeah, they were 70%. In other words, they know the truth, but they're all being educated to be the spokesman. The University Speakers Club is going to speak today on Iraq. It'll be a Zionist talking about it, right? We have not knocked those over yet. We got to get our students in there, right? To be, they can start today. There's a few of them, we talked about that stuff all the time. But, and also, all the other they should locate themselves strategically as educators, and the ones that are not too quick, they should join the police department too. You know, or whatever. Become a fire person, or go out in the woods as a smoke jumper or something. What I'm saying is, we right here should begin to cooperate with Negroes that's been saying the same thing all their life that we're saying now, but it's with a purpose, right? It's with a purpose. All the language things, yeah, join up. Take all the stuff off the table so it ain't no more of that stuff, just to give it to a few of your people. Join up, right? If we get 10%, it's better than nothing. We don't have nobody nowhere now. Okay, so that means the whole system on every level that we should become associated with it and let them pay for it. And remember, this ain't to other people it sounds new. We've been saying that for years, right? We've also been saying about equalize their evil with good. Waliyun hamimun. And become warm and fuzzy friends. That's what it's saying. Hamim is warm water, right? To other people, this is all brand new. But which way have we been headed all along? But we had to exhaust all of our remedies first. We had to give it a try. We're going to try to look up this and look up that. Okay? That didn't work. But we benefited from it. And now we don't have time to continue that. We don't have time. Because the impending event could come. Think about it, America. It could come next month. It could come in 5 years. It could come in 10 years. But some of these things are headed in our direction. We won't prepare for it, right? Just think when we get up there, how sad we would be. And you can't protect yourself. You can't protect your family, and they're looking at you for protection. It's because, and we studied our people too, the inability to evolve when the time comes. The inability to evolve when the time comes. It's not a hard decision. Technically, there's nothing else to do. If you got 3 different ways to go, right? This is the smartest, this is the easiest, it's the one we already prepared for, right? We've been trained for this. We've been crushed and slowed down that we don't function good in the business world. We could.